Hi. Oh boy, Perry needs to find a new line of work. We'll talk about who won last night's debate. That's the subject of today's lunch alert. You know, we've been having political debates in the United States on TV now for 51 years. This is the most embarrassing moment of any minute for any political candidate in 51 years of debating. He basically is a guy who has his talking points, and he got up there and he said, I have three departments I'm going to cut right away. The Department of Education, the Department of Commerce, and what's the other one? And about 20 minutes later, he pipes up, energy. I mean, and it was so typical of why Perry messes up these debates. You could just hear the voice inside his own mind saying, Rick, you're going to screw it up. Rick, you're forgetting the third name. Don't start this because you don't know the third name. The whole country's watching. Your presidential candidacy is in the balance. You've got to think of that name. Come on, think of that name. And you could just see him freezing. You could see him tensing. In the media business, it's called red light syndrome. When the camera light comes on, your brain goes off. And you could just see that happening with him. And oh my goodness, I was blessing my stars that he is not the Republican nominee for president with that performance. And then throughout the rest of the debate, you could just see he doesn't know anything except being the governor of Texas. Every answer he gives is, well, in Texas, this is how we do it. Man, you're running for president of the United States. Read the briefing paper. Boy. But now let's get to the good news about the debate. It was really interesting. The polls show Kaine and Romney tied for first, with Gingrich coming up in third. And that's exactly what I think happened in this debate. I think Romney and Kaine were head and shoulders above everybody else. I thought Newt was closing in on them. And I thought Bachmann showed real signs of life, and I thought everybody else was a dud. Just the order of finish of the polls. But I developed a really interesting insight into the difference between Romney and Kaine. Romney is there because he is clearly the best briefed, the most articulate, the most politically agile, the most supple-minded, the most executive, the most commanding of the people there. He's there on pure merit. It's got nothing to do with anything else. He just absolutely shone in this field. Kaine is pure excitement. I mean, he's charisma, he's pizzazz, his solutions make sense, they get to fundamental issues, and he's also brilliant. And boy, what a classy field to have those two guys running against each other for the top bracket. Newt is kind of interesting. He obviously is more profound than Romney or Kaine. He obviously has insights that are sort of outside of the box, outside of the mainstream, that are fascinating and interesting, and he also is the most experienced. But there is a negativity that clings to him. Did you see the section of the debate where the woman, I forgot her name, said, in 30 seconds, what's your solution to health care after you repeal Obamacare? And Newt said, justifiably, in 30 seconds? Are you kidding me? Health care? And then he portentously said, I've spent a lifetime studying this. I could talk to you for hours or weeks about this. And then she called his bluff. She said, okay, take as long as you like. And he couldn't do it. All he was doing is kept on fulminating. That's why these time limits are bad. That's why we don't get to substance in these debates. That's why I want a Lincoln Douglas style debate. And she said, no, Mr. Speaker, take as much time as you want. And then he was kind of rocked back, and suddenly he had to do it. And he came up with two perfectly mundane points that were the same as everybody else on the panel was saying. One was health savings accounts, and the other was returning Medicaid to the states. Good points, but just echoing what everyone else said. Then he said, focus on brain science. And he talked about the percentage of illness and of our health budget that related to autism, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. And he was absolutely incredible. And that metaphor of don't reform the iron lung, invent the Salk vaccine was brilliant. This is something I've studied healthcare for decades now, and I've never heard anybody say. I mean, that's what Gingrich is for. But he can't get out of his own way. He's so busy pontificating and being nose out of joint and being sort of above this process, the cranky professor, that he can't get out of his way and show that incredible brilliance that he really has. He's got to learn how to do that, and a few more of those brain answers, and he is going to be really doing well. I thought Bachmann was great, but again, limited. I thought she was terrific for bringing up the Fannie Mae bonuses, $13 million to the top 10 executives, to the people that drove our economy into the ground. By the way, on our website, on the right-hand corner of the page, we have, I guess right hand is here now, we have the petition to the guy that oversees Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to roll back those bonuses. Please sign up. Very important to do that. And she was great for raising it. She made some other really good and profound points, I thought. But, you know, she kind of is not in the mainstream of this race. The highlight of the whole debate was the sexual harassment answer that the audience and Herman Cain gave together. Just absolutely showed that we're getting past that issue. And when it came up, I had an interesting insight. Back when I was working with Clinton during the days of the Ken Starr accusations, I told him there were those people that think you're okay and those people that think you're terrible. But the majority of the country not only doesn't have an opinion, they don't want to have an opinion, and they want this issue to go away, either because their kids are watching or because they think that we shouldn't be spending our time on this stuff and there's more important stuff. And that really is the public reaction to the harassment charges. It's not, is Cain right or the women right? It's, I don't even want to deal with this. Get out of my face. And Herman really harnessed that today, I thought, in the debate, and did a heck of a job of knocking it out of the park. So that's my take on the debates. Now, one thing that I do not think is controversial in these debates is my dog, Dubs. And he was watching the debate with me. He was curled up on the floor. And Dubs Goes to Washington, the book that Eileen and I wrote and Clayton Leota illustrated, really takes kids through all of the monuments in Washington and gives them a sense of what makes this country so incredible. So go to dickmorris.com and order that.